hesitant about coming here. And Sherman wanted you to come, or you wanted to come? How did you even hear about us?
I started looking at the agenda, he began talking, that kind of thing, and I started calling you, which was surprising to me. I agree with, is it Mike? I agree with Mike. Every time I called you, you answered the phone, which was blowing me away. And I said, man, this guy's accessible. But it was good because we started talking then, and you shared some things with me about this particular seminar, which I shared with Sherman, and he got excited. The more I talked to him about that, the more he got excited about it. And then I told him, you also put me in touch with Joe Call. I had a chance to talk to him. He was kind enough, we did the three-way, and he was kind enough to share his experiences from this class with me, which I shared those with Sherman. Put Sherman and Joe Call together, and one thing just led to another. I definitely wanted to come to this one, and Sherm has since planned to come to it as well. So we both plan to come back at your end of May session. So.
Well, for having been here for just the first day, this is the end of the first day, how do you feel about making that decision to be here?
Well, it's been a good decision for me. Learning something new is always good for me. And as you mentioned at the outset of this, my background is in marketing with IBM. That was my experience. So government contracting was a whole new animal for me, and it still is somewhat overwhelming. All the bids and that kind of stuff. But I'm starting to see kind of a pattern develop on how you respond to the bids, giving back the phraseology and the words that the bid producer is given to you in the bid, giving that kind of stuff back to them. So I'm starting to see a pattern develop.
Okay, so you're going to be here next month too, again.
That's it, yeah.
Right. So we have it on record now that, that Joe's going to be here for a second time. Joe, you've been through here all 3 days.
Yes.
Tell us what you felt, how you felt about it.
Initially overwhelmed. It's a lot to know. It's good stuff to know. It seems critical and necessary to know. And you talk a lot about the contracting law and the library. Sometimes it makes you wonder, well, am I going to need to become a lawyer? Or how can I ever get to the level that you obviously are? That becomes eased up a little bit as you continue through the session and say, hey, look, if you get into a jam, pick up the phone and call me. Right. So that takes away some of that kind of fear and stuff like that. But it's good stuff. And for me, and I told you this before I came here, I'm old school marketing, IBM marketing, go out, shake the hand, relationship development, that kind of thing. And the frustrating part for me in government construction contracting was that it seems to be bid driven, bid tracker driven, that kind of thing. But I found a sweet spot in here in this class such that it will pay to have relationships with some of the contract officers where I can still apply that old school marketing, and you did that in this, was it expanding your circle of influence? Yeah. That gave me a great deal of comfort to know that, okay, I can take some of the skills I already have over here and bring them to this whole bidding and contract officer environment and develop that. So that's been phenomenal for me. Now for Sherman, he is already in that mode of doing the bidding and that kind of thing. So I'm excited for him, and I'm excited to come back. Next time I'll know liquidated damages. I'll know I know a lot of stuff that now I can focus in on, and I'm excited for him to come with the skill set that he has, because I know he's going to relate to the things that you're talking about automatically.
Right.
So I'm excited and pumped to share that information. Ready to take a good report back to him.
So what was your biggest takeaway for the whole 3 days?
So the biggest takeaway for me is that I don't have to know how to do every one of these projects. I just have to know how to be able to get the right person to do the right job and make sure that it's priced right for me. That's the biggest takeaway.
You figure out that you can do that here?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Did we teach you how to do that?
Yeah, and if I get stuck, I'm going to pick up the phone and call and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do.